morning, welcome back to BT, 20 to 9. It's almost Halloween, which means Drew Kozub has his costume on, which means...
Not true. Indiana.
Which means Drew
it's
is...
not a costume.
No, he is?
He is.
364 days of the year he's in costume, but today his true self comes out as Indiana Jones joins us live from Assiniboine Park Zoo. Good morning, Indy.
Good morning, guys, and if we know one thing about Indiana Jones, it's that he hates snakes, so the real Indy would not be a fan of what we're going to show you next. But hey, I want to mention for the Halloween Weekend Spooktacular at Assiniboine Park Zoo, you're going to be seeing some cool snakes, you're going to get to learn a lot about these guys, but there's some really interesting animal talks going on.
Okay, what can we learn more about?
Well, it's all themed about sort of spooky, creepy animals that may be scary sometimes. So the first talk of the morning is going to be at 10 o'clock a.m., and that one's going to be about bats. They've got these really cool flying fox bats. They're just massive. They're really interesting looking. That's going to be at 10. Then at noon is the wolf talk, and then at 2 o'clock, it's all about snakes. Those are going to happen on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and that's where you're going to get a good look at this snake. It's called a carpet snake, and we have Shane Pratt here telling us a little bit more about this guy. Now, Shane, you look quite comfortable handling this snake, and he seems pretty happy. Why are they called carpet snakes, and do I need to worry the next time I'm vacuuming?
Very good question. No, you don't have to worry. If you take a look at their scales and you take a look at their skin, they actually look quite soft and quite animated. It's very kind of 3D if you take a quick look. And that's why they're called carpet pythons. Yeah, just really, really cool snakes from New Guinea and Australia. And they live in trees, which is why at the moment he's getting a little frisky. He wants to climb everything that we're around at the moment. So he's getting a little, he's enjoying moving around.
All right, now we see him sticking out his tongue, and this is where we're going to learn a lot of things about snake anatomy and stuff like that at the talk. Now, is it true that snakes are really smelling with their tongues?
Absolutely. In fact, snakes have an amazing sense of smell, far better than ours. And so they actually, really neat, have kind of a second nose inside their mouth. It's called a Jacobson's organ.
Okay.
That's not important. What's really important is they stick out their tongue, they catch smells, they catch particles on their tongue, they stick it in their mouth, and they kind of pick this internal nose with their tongue, and it tells their brain, sends signals to their brain about what they're smelling. So they can smell incredibly well.
Wow, so did you just say that snakes stick out their tongue and then put their tongue in their nose?
Well, it kind of in like a second nose. It's kind of like a fake nose, or it's called their Jacobson's organ inside their mouth. So yeah,
wow.
And it tells them what they're smelling.
Fascinating stuff. Now, really interesting too, because we want to be very careful, like you're being when we're handling a snake like this guy. And you were telling me a little bit about snake anatomy and just how we may not realize that there's certain areas on the snake that you just don't want to touch.
Yeah, so generally when we handle snakes, you might see me handle snakes in a way that, you know, not very many people do, but generally you try to stay away from holding onto their head in any way, shape, or form. Number one, because if you just meet a person, for example, and you don't walk up to them and you touch them on the face, that's not how you meet people.
No.
So that's also not how you tend to meet animals as well. But they also, their skulls are very delicate, and if you touch their head, it could actually give them a really big headache. And that's when you can get into trouble with handling snakes, absolutely.
Wow, this is going to be really cool. So this is going to be one of the conversations that we get to learn a little bit more about the animals on, and this is going to be a very neat part about the Halloween Weekend Spooktacular. Shane, thanks so much for bringing this guy out to show it to us today.
Thanks for coming, yeah.
All right, now if you want to see this guy and some of his other friends firsthand, go to the BT website, breakfasttelevision.ca, so we can connect you with the Assiniboine Park Zoo, and you can find out all the details for the weekend Halloween Spooktacular. And remember, moms, dads, and kids, you show up in a costume, you save 25% on your admission. Again, you can get those details on the BT website at breakfasttelevision.ca.